Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. For today's episode, as promised, we've got the game for you here against Slovakia. We are away from home. It's a highly anticipated game. We desperately need to win this and, just to top our group. So if you missed out on the last episode, we did play against Ukraine and Slovenia. Of course, Ukraine was a friendly. We did lose 2-0 at home in Wembley, but obviously not too disappointing. The main positives basically was the result against Slovenia. We were away from home, we were losing at half time, so we managed to come back through Troy Deeney and Saido Berahino. Names not normally associated with England right now, in real life anyways, but for me they're doing quite well. So we've got Slovakia, and my assistant managers managed to get a friendly against Switzerland, so we'll be playing that at home as well. We've quite frequently had away games, but hopefully next episode we will have Lithuania and Malta. At least one of them will be at home in September. So it's June, the season's over with. It makes everything a lot clearer about who should play and who shouldn't play. This is the team that we'll be going with today, but let's run you through who we picked and who missed out basically on getting called up. So in terms of goalkeepers, Butland, Hart and Pickford are pretty much straightforward picks. Butland and Hart are just about the same ability level and have played frequently for their clubs. Or relatively frequently at least. Butland hasn't played too much, but that's mainly because of his injury. Since he's come back, he has played every game, 9 Premier League games, so we've decided to call him up. Pickford as well is kind of one of the players for the future, I suppose. Butland should be our main choice goalkeeper for the next decade or so, but Pickford should be the one competing with him, as well as, of course, Joe Hart, still technically young in terms of goalkeeping years. And Heaton and Foster are the ones who miss out. Pickford's just had a better season, not really in terms of average rating. I mean, I guess you could suppose he edges that a little bit, but also helps he's played literally every single Premier League game, and his club Sunderland have performed well in the league as well. So sometimes that is a defining factor. If their club has performed better in the league, that means they have technically contributed more to their club. So in terms of left backs, it used to be a tough decision, but now not so much. It's Shaw and Cresswell. I think Cresswell will be getting his first cap for England. He's played decently for West Ham. He's been injured for quite a bit of the season, and we've gone with him just because others haven't necessarily had a great time. And also, why not give him a chance to see if he can bring anything to the team, and hopefully he can. Shaw's going to be our first choice left back anyways. In terms of the right back position, a lot more straightforward. Klein and Walker are our choices still. Now, Walker's ability, the coaches and scouts at our team have judged his ability have dropped a little bit. I think that's just more them adjusting rather than his ability actually dropping. And but yeah, he's still the best performer. So we've got the likes of Ward and Flanagan performing incredibly well, even Carl Jenkinson for their clubs. It's tough to leave them out, but again, the defining factor, because they've all had great seasons. It's not like they have average seasons. They've all had great seasons. The defining factor was just that Kyle Walker helped his team into the Champions League spots, and the rest of them are more mid-table and whatnot. So we've decided to go with him as well. So in terms of centre-backs, we've made up for our previous error in the last episode, and we've actually called up Shawcross because he was deserving. Smalling and Keane are the normal centre-back duo that we pick as well. John Stones misses out. He's called up for the under-21s instead. He simply hasn't played enough Premier League games this season, less than half the Premier League games available, so that's pretty defining, and I don't think he's gotten an injury at all. Simon Francis keeps his place as well as the highest performing backup player we've got. There's a couple of choices in truth, but Simon Francis just doing better than the likes of Gary Cahill and whatnot. Eventually his ability will drop off because he is old, but for now, play him as long as he's been playing well, for Bournemouth. So in terms of midfield, Dele Alli, Henderson, Wilshere and Noble as well as Drinkwater make the team. And we still got Lee Catamol included as well. So these are the players who have performed well throughout the season. They've played the Premier League games at least. That's why the likes of Sterling and Lingard miss out. Also Jones, of course, we already spoke about him. Rooney's injured, and Carrick has been recalled as well. So some of these youngsters, hopefully they will break through from the under-20s and the under-21s and whatnot. But until they do that, they just, we can't really pick on them. It's not just because they're under 20s and under 21s, but it's also because they haven't played enough games for their clubs just yet. There are other players performing well enough. It helps that Lee Catamore is also a ball-winning midfielder, so he suits us a little bit more in that position where we need a ball-winning midfielder, so that helps. In terms of strikers, a little bit more straightforward than it has been lately. So it should be Kane, Sturridge and Vardy, as well as one of these players here being the fourth choice, but Sturridge really just hasn't played enough. Too many substitute appearances for my liking. 27 appearances off the bench, that's way too much. We need a minimum of 19 starts. If you're coming off the bench that frequently, you're not doing well enough. He's also just scored 9 Premier League goals, and again, just an average season really. So we've gone with Kane and Vardy, who's also performed well. Dini's always done good for us, and Berahino's the choice as well. The likes of Sterling, as we mentioned, not playing enough games. Austin's injured. Welbeck hasn't played enough because he was injured, but even since he came back, he hasn't played enough, or played well for that matter. Rodriguez and Walcott are the same things, and Rooney, of course, injured. Anyone else below that is just below that in terms of ability. So Callum Wilson's dropped a little bit in terms of ability and in terms of his average rating. So we'll go with that team. So in terms of who we actually picked to play today, Joe Hart's there. I think his fitness dropped a little bit because in Italy their season ends a little bit earlier than the English Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. But in terms of how many games he's played 35 in the league for Torino. So really, he should be fitter than he's appearing to be anyways. Klein, Shawcross and Keane, straightforward decisions. Shaw, Noble's the halfback, Henderson, Dele Alli, Lallana, Troy Deeney and Berahino. So what we're going to do for this episode, we're actually going to try something else out. We're actually going to try and play the players in the positions that they like. So we're going to go for a box-to-box midfielder with for Henderson. We're going to switch Lallana into a trequartista and play Dele Alli as advanced playmaker on support. Mark Noble, even though he can do the halfback role, he seems to be a little bit, I suppose, hesitant about it. I think we'll actually keep him that way because I'd rather that than defensive midfield or a deep line playmaker. We don't necessarily need a deep line playmaker. And he still uses his vision. I suppose his marking and whatnot is not good enough, but probably is best as a deep line playmaker. You know what? Let's try that and see if that improves anything. But I can't. If we start to somehow perform horribly, we'll switch that around. But anyways, let's start with this team and see how it goes, and we'll kick off against Slovakia in just a minute as the players warm up. So the odds should be in our favour, but the likelihood is that the odds expert is going to think it's going to be a close game. I would think so too, but because of who we are as a nation, we should be winning today's game against Slovakia, even though it's away from home. If we get a draw, it's not the end of the world. At least we still keep that 1 point gap. It's 5 games played so far. We really need to stamp our authority on the game. We've dominated the group alongside Slovakia against these other teams here. And when we beat Lithuania and Malta, that should be, I say when because that's how I should be probably overconfident, but we should be winning those games, so that should be giving us a guaranteed 6 points as well. Slovenia, Scotland and Slovakia should be the tricky fixtures. But anyways, we've won 4 games so far and we've lost just the one against Lithuania. Again, that's because I was saying overconfidence, but hopefully we put Slovakia to the sword today. Let's try that. Alright then. Yeah, I've just realized something. Alright. Now the reason I switched him to attacking midfielder on support duty is just because we're playing on the counter, so we can't have too many attacking duty players, and the trequartista only has an attacking duty. So we switched into attacking midfield on support, and hopefully that should improve things a little bit more now. It's only been 10 minutes though, but it looks like Slovakia are edging out possession with a 4-3-3. Hopefully it's our midfield that dominates today's game and not the wingers. But again, Slovakia with the ball. Henderson wins it back as a box-to-box midfielder. Dele Alli, advanced playmaker on support, finds Berahino easily and is back to Lallana. Henderson, what can he do? Through to Lallana. Misses out, but Dele Alli's picked up the pieces. Deeney, Henderson, keeping the ball well here. Klein, good ball into the box. Oh, how has that not been scored by Saido Berahino? It is definitely a clear-cut chance, and somehow he shot it right at the goalkeeper from 1 yard. I suppose the little injury he picked up might be affecting that, but should be England 1, Slovakia 0. Damaged teal it says, but not good enough. Mark Noble picking up a yellow card. way too early for my liking, so we're just going to tell him to calm down a little bit and hopefully not get a second yellow. Alright, so they've gone into attacking 4-3-3 now, pushed on some players probably, and the likelihood is we'll do the same in the second half. We are dominating on the counter though, so I feel like it's not necessary just yet. We'll possibly save that for later. So let's do that. Trust the players on the counter for a little bit longer. Troy Deeney and Berahino not having an incredible game. I'm going to try and switch them around and see if that helps. They both can play the complete forward support role and advanced forward role relatively similar. So, you know, hopefully no issues on that front. And maybe switching them around will help. Lallana is having a terrible game, and that might have to do with him having to play a different role than what he's accustomed to normally. So let's see, we need to make some attacking changes. So a couple of players have been a little bit quiet. And we'll take off Lallana for Wilshere. Who can we trust off the bench? Let's take off Berahino, move Troy Deeney back to a complete forward on support. I'm trusting Vardy's pace at this time basically. Dele Alli seems to be the most tired, so we'll take him off as well for Drinkwater. And hopefully, even though you really should try and avoid making 3 substitutes at one go, hopefully this will actually change, you know, shift the game on its head kind of thing. You know what we'll do? We'll change some things around as well. Go into control. I actually have it sorted here. I'm going to switch the roles around back again as well, see if that gives us a little edge again. So we're shifting from the roles we had earlier. There's an immediate highlight to that response, so let's see if that's in our favour. But it is Slovakia come away with the ball here. Henderson puts in a really good tackle, but unfortunately can't pick up the pieces. And it is Slovakia still on the attack. Noble does well to win it back. Drinkwater, Wilshere loses out. And it's Hamsik who finds, almost found anyways, his player. Drinkwater, Wilshere. Come on boys, keep the ball well. Don't try anything stupid, Wilshere. Thank you, Drinkwater. Vardy. Is he going to go all the way? Instead he finds Wilshere, and there's the goal that we were looking for all game. It might be the, the mentality, it might have been the roles, and it might have been the substitutions. But either way, it's 1-0 to England, and that's all that matters. So Slovakia still on the attack, but really it's us who've dominated the game so far, and hopefully they don't do anything towards the end of the game there. I'm hoping my players keep the concentration. Set piece for Slovakia though. Keane on the break. What can he do? Finds Vardy. Vardy, you going to go all the way? He's getting outnumbered now, and he loses out. Instead it's Slovakia on the counter, but Klein wins it, and again it's us. Deeney, can he find someone? Oof, probably should have gone for the shot there. Drinkwater's got it though. Shaw, good ball into the box. Yes, Vardy. The type of game where substitutions make a difference, and it's 2-0, and we'll finally be back into first spot where we deserve and where we should be. That's exactly what I want for my fullbacks, to assist as if they were wingers. And Shaw does that fantastically. I mean, both our fullbacks have had great games today. 2 of the highest rated players on the pitch. And that should be the end of it. Almost looked like we were going to get a third there for a second. But yeah, we've managed to beat Slovakia at their home. And I would say if we win the next two games against Lithuania and Malta, we might just about secure our spot as the group leaders basically and qualify for the World Cup. Now that should be 8 games if we did win against Lithuania and Malta. That should still leave us another game against Slovakia and Scotland, I think. So we can't completely write them off, but hopefully both of them underperform in the next international break, and that way we qualify automatically without having that nail-biting ending of having to face both the teams that really matter, basically. But anyways, we've got another friendly in 5 days' time against Switzerland, so I'll be back in just a moment for that friendly, basically. And just stick around, so just a moment. Welcome back, guys, and as promised, we've got the game for you here against Switzerland. Wembley friendly, of course. We've had 5 days time, so thankfully everyone's rested. It's also the summer period, so no clubs are really putting any instructions on their players. So finally, we will have a full strength team to face another opposition team, basically, with nothing holding us back, basically, in a friendly, because normally we have to make changes for friendlies. So Harry Kane's match fit, but I'd rather not risk anything. He's literally just come back from injury. We had him just maybe to try and edge him into the Switzerland game, but I'd rather just keep things as is, especially because of our last game's result. So let's just quickly switch things round back to how it was. There you go. And there. Alright, but I do remember that I did promise you guys that we'll be showing you the Premier League just to see who won this season. I'm not involved in any sort of form with the Premier League other than picking the players, but it has been Arsenal under the leadership of Arsene Wenger, who's won with 87 points. Jose Mourinho's Manchester United very close at 82 points. And Tottenham and Liverpool not far behind it is City and Chelsea, both missing out on the Premier League, Champions League spots actually. But some decent performances. So Stoke have managed to get into Europa League. I think Southampton probably just about missed out. I mean, not in terms of points, but because of their position. Watford doing well, Leicester doing well. Not really any bad performances. Middlesbrough, Swansea and Burnley are kind of straightforward relegations. I think Hull did well to actually stay out of the relegation zone, but it's very close between Bournemouth and Middlesbrough. Just one goal difference missing. But yeah, that's how the Premier League went, and I'm not sure if we can see who won the Champions League. No. Why would I go to Arsenal for Champions League? That was a bad mistake. Alright, let's see here. Title holders, Bayern. Alright, so there you go. So Bayern won it. Madrid couldn't do what they did in real life. Actually, they beat them in the final. Oof, that's a heavy result. Either way, let's kick off against Switzerland. Should be a straightforward win at home at Wembley. And Switzerland, of course, a decent team. Let's not completely write them off, but we should really win this game relatively comfortably. The odds expert thinks it'll be a draw. They do have the likes of Xhaka and Shaqiri, Lichtsteiner, close, some decent players there, but I would say we should be winning this game. So let's see what my players can come up with in this friendly. Hopefully they stay focused, eyes on the prize, and don't just dismiss it because it's a friendly, just like they did against Ukraine. We outperformed them, but for some reason we couldn't score the goals that mattered, and couldn't perform in a game that possibly doesn't really matter, but we should be playing for our fans. That's basically what we should be doing here. But Switzerland are going to punish us through Shaqiri, of course, and that's our instant response to go into control. Not only because we've just conceded. Bear in mind, sometimes you concede, but if your team's playing better, then that makes sense. But we really are being outperformed here, so we've pushed on into control. Hopefully we see a response. There hasn't really been an improvement in terms of statistics, but a telling off at halftime could possibly fix that. It's gone up now a little bit. We have created more half chances. We do edge possession, and there will be one last highlight possibly, and hopefully it's in our favour. Shaw takes his man on. Can he put a good ball into the box? Instead he misses out. Shaqiri comes with the ball forward here, and somehow Tarashaj has come away with that. And again, still holding on. Fernandez, can he find anyone? Nope. Henderson shuts him down. Is Dini on the way? Can he find his partner? Yes, he does. Berahino all the way. Yes, and that's what we were looking for. So we are drawing, we have improved, but because we're at home, I get to tell my players off a little bit more than if we were away from home. It also helps that we're favourites for today's game, so if we're at home, I could always tell them off, but especially because we're favourites, I get to tell them off a little bit more than, if we're playing, for example, the likes of Germany. It wouldn't make sense for me to tell my players off for drawing at half-time. I should be encouraging them. But anyways, just bear those things in mind. All these little factors, they do help shape your team talk, and normally your team talk at halftime really makes a difference between you winning the game or losing it. So hopefully that will help, and we can look into making some substitutions now. So some attacking players haven't performed well. Lallana, for some reason, this whole international break hasn't played well. Henderson not having the best of times, but we're trying to make attacking changes. So let's take off Dele Alli for drink water, and we'll save some of the other substitutions for later. I think Henderson's exhausted. Take off some of the tired players instead. So let's take off Henderson for Lee Cattermole as the ball winning midfielder. He really should do that role really well, basically, because that is his role, his favoured one. Shaw for Cresswell, who gets an international debut. Finally, Mark Noble off for Carrick, and that's our 6 substitutions done and dusted. So, just like in the last game, can the substitutions make the difference? Vardy and Wilshere on the score sheet in the last time because of our changes. Can our substitutes save the game again? Can Wilshere save the game again once more? Complete midfield change up, so that will probably affect our performance a little bit, but I'm hoping positively rather than negatively. But having said that, Switzerland are on attack, and Rodriguez finds Cassini, who finds Rodriguez again, and decent ball into the box, but Walker's come away with it. Dini, Wilshere, come on boys, build up. Walker, go on, take him on and put a good ball into the box. Yes, Berahino. Who other but Berahino? Ever since he started for England, just goal after goal after goal, and Switzerland are pissed off when they switched into 3-4-1-2, as it says there. 3 attacking changes, and I'm really tempted to go into contain because they've been playing well so far this game. I think they're going to punish me for that now. Yeah, they're definitely going to punish us now. No, my first response should have been to go into contain. I'm going to do that now. Alright, so I'm actually going to do that. Okay, support, defense, defense, defense. I can't do anything about the complete wing back on support. There you go, it should be a little bit more defensive now. Hopefully with contain, that helps us as well. Just need 10 minutes to see out the game. They have outperformed us in terms of shots and stuff, so they've looked dangerous basically, so it makes sense to go into contain. But they could punish us here through set piece, and that would be horrible. Penalty. Lee Cattermole, of all people. Okay, so unless Joe Hart is the is the hero, sorry about that, and saves this penalty. Oh, what a hero. We just have to see out 2 minutes. I was ready to go into overload because I've rarely seen penalty saves. But Joe Hart did really well there. I mean, that was the edge as well, but there you go, proving me wrong for ever dropping him in the beginning of the season. Berahino's got the ball here, and thankfully he's fouled rather than losing it. We just need to see out another minute or so time. The game's going to torture me with every single useless highlight before it. But Cresswell, can he put a good ball into box? Decent. We come away with it, but Keane is outnumbered. And again, just keep taking the fouls, boys. We need this to climb up in the rankings. I think we're currently in 13th in the world, so we really need to break into that top 10. That's where we should always be, and in fact we should be in that top 5 as well. With 15 seconds to go though, Switzerland are the ones with the ball. Cresswell does well there on his debut. Wilshere, Berahino, just, yeah, thank you. There you go. 2-1 at Wembley. Back-to-back wins, and there's nothing more that a manager would rather see, especially on international duty. And there you go, 2-0, 2-1, and the next one is Lithuania, Malta, and the one after Slovakia, Scotland. So definitely hang on for the next episode where we'll be showing Lithuania and Malta back-to-back in September. The beginning of the season is going to be a bit tough to pick our players, but you know, now that we're a year into our tenure, basically, we know our players a bit more, so it should help us. But anyway, stick around for the next episode, and hopefully we would have qualified for the World Cup by then. So yeah, if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, thank you guys for watching.